Now, don't get me wrong, this is going to be work, but this is how the average athlete can make money off of NIL. Hi everyone, I'm Sydney Mary, and this is Retired College Athletes, a platform designed to inspire and inform all athletes through stories and advice from retired college athletes. I don't like long intros, so let's go ahead and jump into it. So today we're going to be talking about how the average student athlete can make money off of NIL. In the media, it's been seen that athletes can have huge endorsement deals, especially ones that already have a huge following or are very good at their sport, or they have both. But that's not the majority of student athletes. I know when I was in college, I was not that student athlete. I wouldn't have gotten an endorsement deal, and I know a lot of you guys might not get that either. But there's still a way for you guys to make money off of your name, image, and likeness, and today we're going to be talking about how. My first tip is to host camps and private lessons. Now, I know what you may be thinking. I'm just a typical student athlete, like no one really knows me. Who's gonna be coming to my camp? Think again. Only 8% of high school athletes become student athletes in college. And across the board, I know a lot of high school kids, a lot of middle school, elementary kids who really want to learn from people who are playing at a higher level. You can do it in your hometown, you can do it in your college town, but maybe pulling together a group of athletes that you know that are very good at their sports, that can teach a group of kids who are interested in learning that sport, their parents who are interested in paying to make sure that they can get better, and to learn from people who are already doing what their kid wants to do in college or what they want their kid to do in college. I think there's a lot of money to be made there. It doesn't have to be an overnight camp. It doesn't have to be anything crazy like that. It can be a week where you maybe rent a field or rent a court, or maybe you have a connection that can give it to you for free, and you host a camp from 9 a.m. to noon, or the whole day, whatever. But you put together a business plan in terms of how much it'll cost, how many people you need, how many volunteers you might need, and all of that good stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, this is going to be work, but this is how the average athlete can make money off of NIL. And I think this is a really good option. The other part of that is private lessons. That's a lot less daunting. You're working with one person or maybe a few people, helping them sharpen their skills. I feel like this is very common in the baseball side of things, where guys will help other guys out in terms of maybe you're higher up on the totem pole of, like, maybe you're an MLB player, or maybe you're a really good college player and you're helping out this high school kid that has potential. That's huge, and that's a great way to get paid. Another option is starting a business. And whenever people say this, I find it to be kind of funny because it sounds easy, but at the same time, it's kind of like starting a business is not necessarily an easy thing, especially when you're starting it well. Like, you want to have everything set up well. And I've kind of given these tips in a different video, so I will link that in the cards as well as in the description box. But you should set up a business entity and do it the right way so that you can protect yourself. But with that said, you have talents. You are not just an athlete. You are so much more than that. And so you can monetize your talents, or maybe you already had an idea of a business that you wanted to do. Can you solve someone's problem? That's a great way to start a business. Think about what you enjoy doing, thinking about a problem that you can solve, and you can run with that idea. Small examples of businesses that people currently have going are artists. Can you draw? Can you paint? Or can you sketch? Are you a graphic designer? That's an easy way, easy. I'm not saying being an artist is easy, but it's an easy way to wrap your head around starting a business. Another one is, are you a developer? Can you create an app that can help people with things? The more skills that you acquire and the more time that you're willing to put into building a business, the better this will go for you. At the end of the day, I don't want to sell you this false dream that it's going to be easy. It takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of consistency, but this is definitely a way that student athletes can take advantage of name, image, and likeness and make money. On Instagram, a student athlete reached out to me. She was an artist and she was interested in selling her art as well as doing it for commission, and just was kind of curious as to how she can make more money. This is my advice to her. You can put your art on cards and get them into your campus store. That's a great way to make money. It's as you get sales, you would get the money, but also they would probably take a portion of that profit because you are using their venue to sell. Another option is to go to local places, popular places around your city, and ask if they need artwork. Now, sometimes they may say yes, and that's great. That might be a sale right there. But if they say no, it may be helpful to offer them the artwork for free to be up there for a period of time, because that allows you to get exposure. And so maybe someone walks in and they're like, hey, like, I love that piece. Who is that by? There we go. You have people who are interested in your work, and that can lead to a possible sale. And then finally, I would definitely reach out to publications and ask if they are featuring artists or local businesses. That's a great way to get your name out there. They do a small profile on you, you get a chance to showcase your work, and it expands your reach. The third tip is utilizing social media. And I know, like, that's such an eye roll because everyone says it, and it's so true. You don't necessarily have to have a big following to be able to get paid on social media. But what you do need is to be consistent on there, and you do probably need to reach out to someone who can help you get those advertisements. Open Doors is a great company for that, and I'll link a few others down below, but they definitely connect student athletes with advertisers, and you guys can kind of create a contract from there and get paid from there. And so that could be helpful. My biggest tip around this is whenever you're doing advertising content on your social media page, please make sure you're not wearing your school's branding. That can get kind of tricky. What it could turn into is your school coming back and saying that you used them and therefore they can take a part of your profit. I mean, it can get really sticky and disgusting. I could go on about this, and you can definitely do your research on why you should not have your school's branding in there, but I'm just gonna give you that tip. Take it as you will. I just want to make sure that you guys are kept safe as you're trying to make money, and I don't want you to lose any money off of just a small mistake. And then the last thing is just a lot more elementary. You can work at local stores. Before, I felt like that was something I couldn't do as a student athlete because somehow, some way, I would be using my name, image, and likeness to get more people in the door. That would be the case that my school would make against me or the NCAA would make against me, and now that's not the case. You can literally just go work anywhere, a big name athlete or not, and the company can continue to do well, and it won't be put on you that it was because of your name, image, and likeness. So that's just a general one. I know it's not anything super exciting, but that is something that you can take advantage of. With that said, I just want to put a disclaimer, and I think I mentioned it throughout the video, that these aren't necessarily easy. Making money isn't always easy. Starting a business isn't easy, especially when you're trying to start it from scratch. So don't get discouraged. If this is something that you really want to do, put the time and effort into it. Feel free to ask questions. If you have questions, type them in the comments and I will get back to you. But I really hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, please consider hitting the like button, subscribing, and hitting the bell so you don't miss any content. I post on Thursdays and some Sundays, and you can get content similar to this on those days. So I hope you can stick around, and I'll see you guys in the next video.